I know what you're thinking. Some men are just absolutely ridiculous, right? You go out with them, things seem cool, and next thing you know, they're gone. They disappear. And you're like, what the hell just happened? Well, I'm going to explain to you what happened and give you the top 7 reasons why men disappear on you. So my name is Stephan Labossiere, aka Stephan Speaks, back with another dating and relationship advice video for women. All right. And again, we're talking about the top 7 reasons why men disappear on you. Be sure to like this video, share it, subscribe to this channel, and leave your comments below. What do you think is a reason why men disappear on women? All right. So again, I know this is extremely frustrating experience for a lot of women. You know, they have a word for it. It is called ghosting. And a lot of people have been ghosted, men and women, and it can be a hurtful experience. It can be very frustrating, very confusing. And so I want to help clear up some of this confusion, but I also want you to make sure you listen to all the way to the end because I have a very specific, important message you need to hear about this specific topic. So, number 1, he was never serious to begin with. Listen, here is the bottom line reality. You're going to meet men, and let's say you meet 10 guys tomorrow, and there's going to be a batch of them. No matter how great you are, no matter how amazing you are, there's going to be a batch of them who never wanted anything serious. Who, forget just even wanting anything serious. They may not have even been sure that they wanted to engage and push anything further with you, even on a casual level, all right? Now, again, that isn't necessarily about you per se. It's about where that guy's head, where his head is at for various reasons, all right? I will mention one, though I don't want you to lean on this, all right? Sometimes he's already in a relationship and he meets you. He was attracted to you. He decided to flirt. He got your number, but in reality, he knows he can't do anything with this. He wanted to see how far he can get. Now, of course, I'm not saying that's okay and that's a good thing, but this happens, all right? He wanted to see how far he can get, but then he had to stop it because it's like, okay, I can't take this too far and now cause problems in my relationship. And so now he disappears. No explanation, no nothing. He just cuts it off. And so that happens a lot more than some women may realize, all right? Other possible reasons why he may not be serious, again, he may have just come out of a relationship. And right now, he's not in the mindset of wanting to engage emotionally with any woman. And so what happens is, in that instance, if he senses that you want something more serious, or he senses you're here, he's there, as far as how he's seeing things, he might be like, you know what? I don't want any problems. I'm just going to leave this alone. And again, he just disappears. Another reason why he may not be serious to begin with is simply because, I don't even know another reason why he may not be serious to begin with. Those two pretty much are typically what it is. He just doesn't want a relationship for various reasons. So yeah, here's another one. Another reason is he may be at a time in his life where he feels like getting in a relationship right now would be detrimental to him. All right. He genuinely feels like, listen, I need to be on my grind. I need to be focused on my purpose, focused on the things I'm trying to accomplish. And a relationship doesn't fit into that. But what happens with these men is that they get lonely too. They desire companionship. And so they may start something with a woman, but again, because they weren't truly committed to the process of dating, they can end up just pulling out of nowhere. And you're like, what the hell just happened? All right. So, and there could be other possible reasons I'm not even thinking about right now. But the bottom line is this. If he's not serious to begin with, this is something that you should not internalize. And this is why it's important to not internalize when men disappear. All right. Because you never know what's really going on. But I'm going to dive deeper into that a little bit later. The bottom line is he was never that serious. So he already had one foot in the door, one foot out. And he simply took that one foot out. And so he chose not to handle it properly by telling you where he's at and why he's about to disappear on you. Number 2 on the list of top reasons why men disappear on you. And this might throw you off, but just work with me here. You ignored that there wasn't a connection there. All right. Now you might be saying, well, dang, Stephan, why are you making this about us? Listen, I'm here to help you, okay? And to help you, I got to give you the reality of these situations. And yes, some of these things on the list are going to focus on him. And there will be some more things on this list that will focus on you. So this one's about you. And let me explain this a little bit better by saying I believe in general, women know connection even better than men. All right, like you guys feel it because you're more emotionally in tune. You have your intuition. You guys can pick up on it much faster. However, what I have noticed is a pattern of a lot of women when you go on a date with a guy and his resume is great. You now decide in your head, I want this. I want this guy. I want this to work. And at that point, you ignore the fact that connection is not here. You may now rely on, well, we have chemistry. We share the same values, which are good things. You need those ingredients, but those things don't matter without connection. He comes from a good family. You start giving yourselves these reasons to hold on and to latch onto this guy and push things forward, but you're ignoring the fact intuition is not there. Now you're asking me, well, what the hell does that have to do with him disappearing? Well, the problem is if there is no connection and he picks up on it, but you're busy ignoring it because you've latched onto what you want, then yes, he may at some point pull away. Because it kind of goes back to, he now realizes, okay, I came into this with a genuine intention. I now see connection is not here. You may be an amazing, great girl, great woman, but he's like, you know what? She's not the one. All right. And that's no knock on you, but we're just not going to be the one for everybody. And so now he recognizes this, but you're still trying to push for something to move forward and happen. And again, he decides to pull out. He decides, you know what? I don't want to deal with this. We're not on the same page. I don't want what she wants. All right. And he walks away. And so it's an unfortunate situation, but again, I want you to set yourself up for better results by being mindful of what you can do differently as well. And so one of those things is, do not ignore a lack of connection. Do not get so caught up in what you think you want that you also become blind to what you actually need. That you become blind to the red flags that do present themselves, because it's not like you don't ever see them. If you sat down with women who have gone through breakups, divorces, all these broken situations and relationships, they will admit to you, in most cases, almost always, that they did see a red flag, but they didn't address it. They ignored it. They rationalized past it. Don't do that to yourself, because it can lead to, if not him disappearing, you finding yourself in a relationship that you don't belong in. So either way, it does not work in your favor. So be mindful of that. There must be a connection. Do not ignore a lack of it. It is a setup for disaster every single time. Number 3. And before I tell you number 3, real quick, if you desire coaching from me, you want your questions personally answered, you want additional guidance and help to really experience those better results in your life when it comes to healing, purpose, relationships, all those things, join my special membership program, How to Manifest the Life and Man God Has for You. Click the link in the description or in the comment section. Thousands of women have been in this group. They all are loving it. Many have graduated from it, gone on to marriages. I'm not lying. They've gone on to marriages and great relationships, but just overall being happier. Again, click the link or go to www.receivingmyblessings.com. So number 3, next on the list is he met someone else. I mean, again, we're keeping it real with each other here. And so the reality is that, yes, sometimes you're dating a guy and things may seem to go well. Things may seem to be moving in the right direction, but he meets someone else, or he what's the word I'm looking for? He rejoins. I don't know why I'm missing the correct word to say, but basically someone from his past comes back. All right. And they reconnect. They reconnect. That's the word. He reconnects with someone from his past. All right. And so, yes, again, unfortunately, rather than just saying, hey, I met someone from my past, he goes on and just walks away. So let me stop right here and say this. And I should have said this from the very beginning. At the end, or the basis of disappearing, is a man who doesn't know or is unwilling to communicate and properly handle disconnecting from you. All right. it is easier for people to walk away than it is to address the issue. So when you ask yourself the question, well, why didn't he just say something? Because I'm sure over and over that comes up with each thing I'm listing on this list, is because he either did not care enough to talk about it, or he does not know how to communicate like that. He felt awkward in trying to have that conversation. And let's be honest, I'm not trying to excuse ghosting, but it's not the easiest thing to call up somebody and say, hey, I just want you to know I lost interest. Or, hey, I just want you to know I met someone else and I prefer to go date them instead of you. Like, these are things that people don't feel comfortable doing. A lot of people don't want to feel like the bad guy, even though you can argue that by ghosting them, they have become the bad guy. It's easier for an individual to do that than to just have a conversation about it. So again, at the foundation of this whole disappearing mess is an unwillingness or inability or a lack of care to communicate and properly handle detaching from you and ending the situation. All right. But going back to number 3, again, he met someone else or he reconnected with someone from his past, and people tend to just move on from there. And there's different reasons. And let me also, because this is hitting my spirit, let me also say this. Man, I feel like I really got to say this. So here's this. I've seen situations where 2 people meet and 2 people have actually a connection, all right? And it's an amazing experience for those individuals. And so you guys are both highly into each other. And then that person, maybe it's not ghosting, but for whatever reason, they end up letting you go and getting back with an ex or getting back with this person or whatever. And you think, well, dang, I guess they love them more than they love me. And that's not always the case. There's a lot of situations where people get scared of the connection. They become overwhelmed, and out of fear, they rather go deal with what is comfortable and familiar than to move forward into the unknown where they have to be so vulnerable. And so a lot of times, more than I think we realize, and not every time, but a lot of times more than we realize, that person's not picking someone else because they're better than you. They're not picking that other person because they love them more. They're picking that other person because they feel safer there, emotionally. Safer in the sense that when you have a connection with someone or when you're deeply into someone, all right, even if it's not connection sometimes, when you're just so into someone, they have the ability to hurt you more than anyone else can. All right. Again, they make you the most vulnerable. Their mistakes hurt more. Their lack of attention hurts more. So it feels like a very dangerous place to be emotionally. Whereas the person who's actually of a lower quality than you, who they don't have the same feelings for, who they don't feel as vulnerable with, it's safer. If that person makes a mistake, it doesn't hurt as much. If that person misses the mark, it's whatever. They feel comfortable in that unhealthy environment. So I just felt the need spiritually to say, don't always think that what you felt in that situation wasn't real. It's just that a lot of people can't handle the real. It's unfortunate, and it's one of the reasons why I do what I do, because I'm hoping to break this cycle to help you and men, all right, heal so that we can embrace what's best for us, whether that be that connection with someone, whether that be our purpose in life, our relationship with God. I want us to be able to walk into our best selves, but we need a lot of healing, all right? But I had to just explain that that's a scenario that does happen and can happen to a lot of people. All right, so now let's move on to number 4. Number 4 is you lowered your standards, all right? So this is a twofold issue here. Part 1 of this issue. You lowered your standards in the sense that you're dealing with low quality men. At the end of the day, you're engaging with Mr. Emotionally unavailable, Mr. He ain't serious about nothing, Mr. He's just trying to have a go with the flow. Let's not define this casual relationship, whatever, when you know you want something real, all right? And so what happens is when you lower your standards with the type of guy you entertain and deal with, you are more, there's a greater chance for things like ghosting to occur. because you're dealing with someone who's not serious to begin with. You're dealing with someone who doesn't have that intention, all right, in this relationship to now say, let's handle this in a very mature and healthy manner, because they're just trying to enjoy themselves or pass the time or whatever the case may be. So you've got to be mindful of, all right, are you setting yourself up by dealing with low quality men who already don't have the tools at the moment to be the type of man you need and to handle this properly in a mature manner, all right? The other side of it in lowering your standards is, believe it or not, it's what you allow in the interaction. So what I mean by that is this. Let's say, for example, you're a woman, you're dating this guy, and communication is important to you, which for most people it is, all right? But with this guy, he calls you here, he calls you there. It's very inconsistent, all right? This is below your actual standard. Now, listen, if you're a woman who actually is cool with that, then so be it. But if you know that's below your standard and you're allowing that, now it's not that hard to go from an inconsistent communicator to a ghoster. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's already seeing that you're not holding him to a standard that says he needs to show up in this process. So if I don't have to show up, then I can just go about this willy-nilly and do whatever I want. So you have to show that there's a standard here. There's a requirement that has to be met. And I think that when we establish that early in the dating process, we can eliminate ghosting, because if that person says, okay, well, I don't got time to be calling you like this, I don't got time to be giving you what you're looking for, then we can just agree from the jump not to deal with each other. So forget ghosting, we just break apart and go our separate ways. But when we're not clear about what we're requiring or what we need, we now allow a lackadaisical approach to enter into the situation. And again, if we're allowing people to be lackadaisical, we're allowing people to just do what they want, then it's very easy for someone to say, all right, well, I'll just disappear. Like, again, because it's easy. It's easier to disappear than to have conversations. And since we're not held to that standard, I'm not going to force myself to do that as an individual if I'm not serious about you also to begin with. All right. So keeping your standards, letting your requirements be known from the jump, and consider also, for those of you who may have experienced a lot of ghosting in your life, consider laying that out from the jump. Like, if you're a woman who can handle whatever the reason is that he may want to stop dating you, there's nothing wrong with saying in the beginning, hey, if this reaches a point where you decide you don't want to do this anymore, just let me know. Like, I don't like being ghosted. I don't like the confusion of it. Just let me know. Now, is that a guarantee that he will? No. Do I think it increases the chances of proper communication being had? Yes, I do believe it will increase the chances of it. So just be open and honest about that from the jump to help diminish the chances of it happening. All right, so now let's get to number 5. And number 5 is, he likes you, but he's too damaged. So I'm going to make this one quick because this basically ties into what I said earlier in the video about connection and getting scared and overwhelmed. All right, the reality is that there are going to be men sometimes that meet you and you may be more than they expected as far as how good you are, how much they like you, and they're not emotionally ready. They recognize that they cannot give you what you deserve, all right? And so believe it or not, I think a lot of women don't realize that a man who genuinely likes you and genuinely respects you may pull away because he feels like you deserve better. And it's not a cop-out. I'm not saying no man has ever used that as a cop-out, but there are men who are genuinely feeling that way. Like, you know what? You deserve a better me or a better person than me, and I'm not there yet. So I'm just going to walk away. And again, it's not right that they disappear, but the disappearing is because it's easier. Bottom line. But at the core of it is a man who is damaged, a man who does not see his own value, a man who needs to work through his own issues. And to be honest with you, he's doing you a favor. All right. And though I would want him to handle it better and being open and honest about that, all right, we have to realize that some people aren't going to find the strength to do it. So ultimately, it does happen. It can happen, but it's just one of those unfortunate situations. You know what I'm saying? So he can like you, but he's too damaged. And for that, he walks away from the situation and walks away from you. So now let's get to number 6. And again, quick reminder, join the membership program. You're going to love it. Click the link in the description or the comment section, or go to receivingmyblessings.com. So number 6, like I said, it's going to be, you notice I'm going back and forth between things about him and things about you. So this one's about you, and that is you did not reciprocate or show desire, all right, and interest. So essentially, what's happening to a lot of women is you're going on these dates, you're engaging with these men, and you're having this wait and see approach. So it's essentially, show me you're worthy. Show me that you're good enough. You're on these dates like, all right, what you got for me? Well, give it your best shot. And it's like, but wait a minute here. You're supposed to be giving your best shot too. You're supposed to be expressing interest and desire too. It isn't just on him. So what can happen is, if a man is now making his effort, he's showing interest, he's showing desire, but you're holding back. And again, to you, you may feel like, well, it's fair for me to hold back. I need to make sure he's for real. But you don't realize how you're sabotaging the situation. And so now as time goes on, he starts to question, is she serious about me? Does she really like me? Is she using me? You have to understand that men have been through things too. So if he's already willing to show the effort and desire, the least you can do is match it. I'm not saying you got to go above and beyond, but at least you want to match his energy and match his effort so that he understands you are as invested in this as he is. But so many situations, and some of y'all have experienced this, where you see a man going hard, maybe first month, 2 months, maybe even 3 months, all right, doing everything right. And then boom, gone. Either gone or he drops the good behavior, all right, and starts to not really be emotionally present anymore. And some of you may think, oh, well, he was just playing games. Listen, in most cases, he didn't go hard for 2-3 months just to play games. There's a very good chance he genuinely liked you, but he can't keep pouring into you if you're not pouring back. So you really want to ask yourself, was I also showing interest and desire? Was I matching his effort? Because again, if he starts to think you're not serious, then he ghosts you, not only because it's easy, but he thinks you don't care anyway. He doesn't think he's that relevant in your life that his disappearance will cause any problems. And I've seen situations where men really genuinely thought the woman was not interested and said, I'm just going to leave her alone. Left the woman alone, and then he hears maybe through the grapevine or whoever that she's upset because he left her hanging. And he's thinking, well, dang, she never showed me anything that said she actually liked me or that she was appreciating my effort. So I didn't know. I thought it wasn't a problem. I thought I'm doing her and me a favor by letting go. So be sure to be mindful of that. And again, stop holding back so much. You got to let those walls down. You got to let that love, that positive energy flow freely. And if you're having struggles with that, heal, and heal some more. And so now we get to number 7, and I want to make it clear, I have a bonus one. So I had mentioned in the beginning, I had a message to tell you. I got a bonus and a message, all right? So first, let me give you number 7. So number 7 is an event occurred that caused him to shut down, all right? So the unfortunate, ugly truth is that there are a lot of men who do not know how to function when they're going through things, all right? So I've seen a lot of situations where men, it could be a death in the family. It could be, I remember one situation where a man failed his bar exam. It could be various things that went wrong that were really hurtful to him, that he internalized or whatever. And rather than just talk to you, he went and hid in his corner and he shut down and he disappeared. All right. And again, it had nothing to do with you. It's just that this is a man who does not know how to, because this is a very vulnerable moment for him. He's hurt. He's dejected. He's damaged. He's destroyed. He's devastated. And he does not know how to present that to a woman, because some men have had experiences where they tried and that woman used it against them later. That woman threw it back in their face. So a lot of men are already hesitant due to previous bad experiences when it comes to opening up to women. Now, of course, I would want men to heal and get to a place where they can still be open and vulnerable and transparent. But I'm just explaining to you the reality of what happens. So some men go through these things and they fall off the face of this earth. And some of y'all have seen these situations where he falls off and then months later, he pops back up. And again, sometimes you feel like, oh, it's him playing games. And I'm not saying there aren't men who aren't playing games out there. I'm just saying some of those situations, a lot more than you may think, are genuinely a matter of things happening. He did not know how to handle it, and he mishandled things. And I would say this: if he does pop back up, and you're going to consider giving him a chance, you need to make it clear at that point, all right, that hey, if anything ever happens again that you're struggling with, you've got to be willing to talk. Because if you do this again, there will be no other chances. There will be no other opportunities. Some of you might say, well, hell no, he shouldn't even get a second chance. Listen, calm down, pray about it, talk to God. Some situations need to be reconciled, and some of them are just, thank God he left the first time. He didn't belong there anyway. But understand that if you do let him back in, for whatever the reason is, you make sure you establish that going forward, this is unacceptable behavior, and we have to talk to each other, all right? So now let me give you the bonus before I give you my special extra message, all right? And the bonus is you had sex with him too soon. So the reality is this, okay? Now, I know some of y'all are saying, well, we shouldn't be having sex anyway. You should wait till you're married. Listen, that is always the ideal, right? But I also understand that many people, aren't going to make it that far. And many people are engaging in sexual relations. So we got to talk about it. And so what's happening in a lot of situations is that, yeah, you had sex too soon. When I say you had sex too soon, I mean that in a couple ways. I mean, number one, too soon to evaluate what this man was really about. So you didn't give yourself time to discover that he was Mr. Not Really Serious. You didn't give yourself time to discover that he was Mr. Damaged. You know what I'm saying? You didn't give yourself time to realize he may not have wanted the same things that you wanted. And you jumped into intimacy, or that level of intimacy, too soon and too fast. And so now when he disappears, you don't understand why, but it's because those other things applied. He just was never trying to do anything more than have sex. And had you given yourself more time to at least understand what's really going on here, then you would have a better chance of avoiding that outcome. Here's another thing to consider. You had sex too soon, and therefore it wasn't good. And so he left. Now listen, I'm not trying to be hurtful. I love y'all. I really love y'all. But I'm going to be real with y'all. Every woman swears their sex is amazing, right? And it's not always the case. But here's an important thing to understand. I'm not saying that to insult you. I'm saying that to bring awareness to the fact that some of you are jumping into bed with men before you're truly comfortable, all right? And because you're not truly comfortable, you're not going to be your best in the bedroom. One of the keys to a woman having great sex is being comfortable, being free, not having to have the worries of, am I doing this too soon? Think about this, that, and the other. Because a lot of y'all are in your own heads, so you really can't even perform well or enjoy the experience, all right? So if you jump in too soon when you have not reached a level of comfortableness with doing this, again, and it's your decision as a grown adult when you want to do it. But if you haven't at least reached a place where you are truly comfortable with it, your performance is affected, and yes, he will judge you on that. Yes, he will lay with you and say, this wasn't that great. And why would I want to continue with this woman? Because people sex is important to a lot of men. Even if he's looking for marriage, he wants to know that he can have good sex with this woman. And so if you engage in that experience very soon, you're leaving it up for evaluation, essentially. All right. And so you want to make sure if you're going to step into that arena, you are truly at peace and comfortable with it. All right. And one thing I always tell women, regardless of what your beliefs are, whether it's wait till marriage or whatever, at the very least, do not have sex with him until you are okay with what's going to happen next. So what I mean by that is if you have sex with him and now he stops calling you or he disappears, and that's going to hurt you bad because deep inside, you were having sex hoping that he would like you more. You were having sex hoping to have him hold on to you longer, all right? So you were having sex with very wrong intentions, so to speak, rather than just trying to enjoy the experience. And so now, when you don't get what you were hoping to get, you feel cheated, you feel used, you feel devalued, all right? That's a bad place to be. So I want you to, at the least, again, the ideal is waiting till marriage. Abstinent is a great thing to do. Seriously, it is. But if you're gonna engage, make sure you are comfortable. Make sure that you can bring your best self to the table. Make sure you are okay with whatever happens next. And you can be at peace. So that means you are doing it because you want to do it for the experience. All right? That should be the only reason if you're gonna do it sooner than marriage or whatever. Bottom line, because you don't want to be in that bad position. All right? But yes, having sex too soon can definitely lead to him disappearing. He got what he wanted and now he's out. So ultimately, again, the special measures, the main thing I need you to understand is at the end of the day, you're not always going to know. You're simply not always going to receive the closure of him verbally stating or writing you a letter or whatever, letting you know exactly what happened. And so it's important for you to rather focus on the possible reasons why he disappeared, because some of you who have had this happen, you're racking your brain, driving yourself crazy, trying to analyze what could have been, what could have been, what could have been. Stop. We don't know. But what we can know is this. It's a blessing. Because whether it's he wasn't ready, he wasn't serious, he's damaged, he's shut down, whatever it is, there was no way you're going to have a healthy relationship with this man right now. And if it was issues stemming from things that you could do better, then that means you need more time to prepare anyway. All right. So you know what? Him stepping away can shed light on what can I improve upon myself to again, increase my chances of better results. But ultimately, do not internalize a man disappearing on you. But yes, so don't internalize it to now lower your value or question yourself. Why am I not good enough? None of that. We don't do that here. But we are always willing to say, you know what? I could have handled that better. Or I could do this better next time. Or, if it's a sex thing, you know what? Let me give myself more time next time so I know what I'm dealing with. That's always a good thing. But do not internalize it. Do not allow it to now bring you into a negative place. Do not dwell in it. Accept it for what it is. Focus on the positives, move forward, and walk into the blessings that are waiting for you. Hey, thank you for watching this video. Be sure to check this one out right here, and I'll see you there. Some men will be lessons, and some men will just be a waste of your time. And one man will be the man that God has for you. And I want you to know that this man does exist, but you need to learn how to recognize him